So next we are going to learn what is a linear function. All right, a linear function is where a function that can be written in this way. Ax plus by equals to c. Now what is a? A is a number, right? The b is a number and the c is a number as well. Okay, now what is important is that now for a linear function, the power of x is always 1. All right, and the power of y is also 1. Okay, so now if we have, all right, 2x squared plus 3y equals to 5, is this a linear function? No, it is not. Right, the reason is the power of x is not 1. Okay, so if we have negative 7x plus y squared equals to 2, is this a linear function? No, because the power of y is not 1. So what is a linear function if we have negative 7x plus 3y equals to 1 over 2? Yes, this is a linear function. Why? Because the power of x and the power of y are both 1. All right, so a linear function, right, can be written in this way. Now we also can write the linear function in a slope intercept form, right, which is in this way. Okay, so we write the function of x, right, is mx plus b. Right, so the function of x here actually can be written as y as well. So it's the mx plus b. Okay, so it means that, right, when we have an input x here, after the function, so right, we get the function y. We get the function fx and the output is y. All right, so the m and the b, right, they are real numbers, and m is called the slope. This is called the slope, and b is called the y-intercept. So we are going to talk about this later. Now let's take a look on the example here to understand linear function better. Right, write an equation to represent the situation. Now cos y to purchase a car of 20,000 and drive it for x km if the cost amount is 80 cents per km. So the cost is y. All right, so y is the cost. So if we purchase a car for 20,000, right? So this is the cost for the car. And beside this, we also have another cost, the cost of driving the car. So the cost of driving the car is, right, $0.8 per km. For each km we drive, we have to pay this cost, $0.8. So what is the total cost if we drive for x km? All right, so now we know that. Okay, so the cost, all right, we need to pay will be, all right, 80 cents. And then if we drive for 1 km, it will be 1 times 80 cents. If we drive for 10 km, then it will be 10 times 80 cents, right? So it will be $0.8 multiply the km, the distance we travel, plus the cost of the car, which is 20,000. Okay, so in this case, the cost will be y equals to 0.8x plus 20,000. Now, let's say we take a taxi. Costs of a ride with company B and C are given as follow. Now the base price is 4.5 euro. All right, let's say you're actually traveling in Europe, right? So, and the price per km is 2.1 euro. So what is the cost? So it will be, right, 2.1 euro then per km, right? So to travel x km, you put the x here, right? So 2.1 euro multiply x km travel plus the base price is 4.5. Right? So then we will have 2.1 plus 2.1x plus 4.5. Now for company C, the base price is 8 euro and the price per km is 0.5 euro. All right, so this round we will have 0.5 dollar per km multiply x km plus, right, the base price is 8 euro, right? Means that if you travel for 10 km, you have to take the 10 km here, 10 multiply 0.5 per km, then you have to pay for 5 euro plus the base price. The base price is the price you need to pay when you call the taxi. Therefore, it will be 5 plus 8, it will be 13, right? Therefore, this will be the total price you need to pay. All right, so for company C, right, the linear function will be 0.5x plus 8. Now, please bear in mind that all these are linear function. Why do we call it a linear function? Because the power of y and the power of x are 1. Okay, right? So the power of y and the power of x is 1. Okay, so we call this a linear function. Now let's try to see if we apply this linear function in economics. Okay, in economics, if you are doing business, all right, so right, the money you collect is called the revenue. Okay, so if you are doing a business, the money you collect is called revenue. Now, how do you calculate the money you collected from a business? So it will be the selling price multiply the quantity, right? So let's say if you are selling pencil, all right, for one mechanical pencil, you sell for $2. So the selling price is $2, right? Say all right, 2, right? So now, and let's say the quantity, all right, you sold today is right, 50, right, pieces, right? So your quantity is 50. So what is the revenue? How much you have collected? It will be selling price 2 ringgit multiply 50, right? So therefore, you have collected 100 ringgit. Okay, so to find the revenue, we will take the price multiply the quantity. So short form, we are going to write like this. The P represent the price, the Q represent the quantity. So the function of revenue, all right, with the quantity given, all right, so it will be price times the quantity. Okay, now let's discuss more on this thing. Okay, what is the variable? What is always changing? Is the price always changing? Seldom, right? The price seldom change. But what is changing? The quantity is always changing. All right, the quantity for the sales quantity for today and the sales quantity for tomorrow might not be the same, right? So the sales quantity for this week and the sales quantity for last week, right, might be different. Therefore, the quantity is the variable. All right, so the variable is the quantity So we will actually put the variable as the Q. The quantity is always changing. Okay, now let's take a look on the other concept called cost. Okay, now how do you calculate the cost, right? There are actually two type of costs. One is called the fixed cost, and the other one is called the variable cost. Okay, now for example, you are selling bubble tea. Okay, so now one of the famous drink is bubble tea. Now, if let's say you are selling bubble tea, so to sell bubble tea, you need to have, for example, machine, right? The machine to make the bubble tea, and then uh, you need to pay for salary for your worker, right? For your workers, so the salary, all right. So and some other things like rental. Now, all these things you must pay even you don't have business. Let's say, all right, your today is a public holiday, you do not have any business, but these are the costs that you have already paid. Okay, you still have to pay for the machine, right? All right, you still need to have machine, you still need to pay for the salary for the workers, and you still need to pay for the rental. So these are the costs that you must pay. So we call this fixed cost. Right, but on the other hand, we have something called a variable cost. The variable cost is the cost you pay only when you have business. For example, right, if you sell 50 cups of bubble tea, right, so then you have to pay the variable cost will be the cup, right, the cup you use, and what else? The ingredient for the bubble tea, all right, the ingredient, because if you do not have any sales today, you don't have to pay for the ingredient, but if you have the if you have business, then you have to pay for the ingredient, right? So the ingredient will be the variable cost. So the variable cost is the cost you pay when you have business. All right, so of course the variable cost here is per cup, so you have to multiply the quantity. The more you sell, all right, the higher you cost incurred. All right, so if you only sell 2 cups, right, your cost paid here is much more lesser compared to if you sell 200 cups. All right, so in this case, we have the cost, right, will be the variable cost multiply the quantity plus the fixed cost. All right, so again, what is the variable here? What is always changing? The quantity. All right, the quantity is changing. So we can see here, all right, for revenue and cost, the variable, right, is quantity. Okay, so now how to find the profit? All right, of course, the profits will be the total revenue minus the total cost. The money you collected, all right, minus the money you pay for the cost, right? That will be the profit. If you have extra after minus, that will be the profit. If you after minus you get negative, not enough, then it will be a loss. Okay, now okay, we're going to find the slope later. The slope is considered the marginal cost for the cost here, all right, and the y is the fixed cost. All right, this is called the marginal cost, and this is called the fixed cost. Right, let's take a look on this example. If a firm has a fixed cost of $3, the production cost is $0.2 per unit, right, and a selling price of $5 per unit, write down the function of produce and selling of Q units of product from the profit equation. Okay, so first we are going to write for the cost function. Okay, the cost function, we know that it will be the variable cost. All right, what is the variable cost? Okay, the variable cost is $0.2 per unit, right? Each unit is $0.2. So then we take the $0.2, multiply the quantity. So the quantity is Q, right? Q units. Therefore, right, multiply Q, variable cost, multiply Q, plus the fixed cost. What is the fixed cost? Fixed cost is $3. So plus the fixed cost. So this will be Q, and fixed cost is $3. So from here, we can actually get the cost is 0.2 Q plus 3. Okay, how about the revenue then? All right, the revenue, right, will be, okay, the revenue of Q. So this is C, right, the cost for Q. So the revenue for Q here will be, all right, 0.2, okay, sorry, the selling price is $5. So the revenue will be $5 selling price, multiply the quantity, so it will be $5 multiply the Q. All right, so the Q is always changing. All right, every day the quantity of the sales is different. Okay, now finally, what is the profit? Now the profit also depends on the quantity. It will be the revenue minus the cost. Therefore, it will be 5Q minus the cost 0.2Q plus 3. Okay, so it will be 5Q minus 0.2Q. So 4.8Q minus 3. All right, so this will be the profit of according to the quantity. Now, what does that mean? Now, it means now from here, if we know the quantity, then we can calculate the profit immediately. So if the quantity is 10 unit, so we have 48 minus 3, then we know the profit is 45. Okay, so all these are called linear function, and this is the example we apply the concept in the business world.